we are at the hospital because we are dealing with okay. We were dealing with bladder cancer. And he is having his bladder removed, and they will create a new bladder with one of his intestines. And this option was, I guess, the best because it fully removes the cancer to ensure that it doesn't come back, because it was close to his muscle. So yeah, we are here to fully remove the bladder. Yeah.
Texting the boys. It's their first day of practice today, and I'm excited.
The internet is on fire right now because Chris Brown is spiraling after the bombshell revelation that his ex, Karrueche Tran, allegedly tied the knot with Deion Sanders in secret. And to make things even messier, rumors are flying that she's already pregnant with twins. This isn't just a love story update, y'all. This is a full-blown scandal that's got fans glued to their screens, because Chris is not taking the news lightly. From shady posts to public meltdowns, he's making it clear he hasn't moved on, and the fallout is looking uglier by the second. Y'all, the internet is losing its collective mind right now because the tea that just spilled is nothing short of nuclear. Word on the street is that Karrueche Tran and Deion Sanders didn't just take their romance public. They allegedly snuck off and tied the knot in secret. That alone had people gagging, but then came the bombshell that Karrueche is pregnant. And not just pregnant, y'all. The rumor is she's carrying twins. Twins. Fans are calling it the plot twist of the year because nobody saw this coming. Social media timelines are flooded with screenshots, reaction memes, and side-eye emojis, with people asking the same question. How did they keep all this under wraps? The receipts are already circulating too. Sharp-eyed fans swear they caught a sparkle on Karrueche's finger in a recent video. And let's just say the alleged wedding ring did not go unnoticed. Add in whispers from supposed insiders about her baby bump, and the internet is convinced the rumors aren't just smoke, they're fire. Some fans are celebrating, saying Karrueche deserves this new chapter after everything she's been through, while others are skeptical about Deion's messy track record with women. But either way, everybody is talking, and the drama is trending like wildfire. But if the fans are shocked, y'all should see Chris Brown. Because the second this news started spreading, Breezy did what Breezy does best, spiral. Instead of brushing it off, he hit social media with a flurry of subliminal shade that had everybody raising their eyebrows. Cryptic posts, bitter one-liners, and thinly veiled shots at Karrueche and Deion started rolling out like clockwork. He didn't name names, but let's be real, fans didn't need a translator. The timing was too perfect, and the energy was way too salty to be about anyone else. And the meltdown only escalated from there. Chris's likes and comments on fan pages made it clear he was watching every update about Karrueche, almost as if he was tracking her new life in real time. People are calling it obsessive, some are calling it sad, but everyone agrees on one thing. Chris is pressed. His ex moving on, secretly marrying another man, and now starting a family of her own. That's the kind of gut punch that Breezy clearly wasn't ready to handle, and the internet is eating up every second of his public unraveling. If you thought Chris Brown was going to take the news in silence, think again. The moment whispers about Karrueche's secret marriage and possible pregnancy started dominating timelines, Chris wasted no time firing off his usual brand of messy subliminals. First, he posted a cryptic message to his Instagram story that read, "Funny how clowns move on quick, but never upgrade." No names, no tags, but let's be honest, who else could he be talking about? Fans instantly clocked it as a shot at Karrueche and Deion, and the screenshots spread faster than wildfire. Then came the comments. Chris jumped into random fan pages, dropping laughing emojis under posts about Karrueche, as if mocking her new relationship. On Twitter, he liked a shady post that said, "She went from Chris Brown to Deion Sanders? Y'all call that an upgrade?" And just like that, the debate was on. Half the internet dragged him for being bitter and unable to move on, while others claimed he still had every right to feel some type of way. But one thing was crystal clear. Chris was spiraling, and everyone was watching. Meanwhile, Karrueche and Deion couldn't look more unbothered. She was spotted rocking a glowing smile at a recent event, ring on full display, while Deion was busy posting motivational videos from his office, talking about love, family, and new beginnings. Fans pointed out the contrast. While Chris was airing out subliminals online, Karrueche and Deion seemed too busy living their best lives to even acknowledge the noise. That's what made Chris's behavior look even messier. And the fans weren't holding back. One person tweeted, "Chris acting like Karrueche left him yesterday when she's been done for years. Move on, my boy." Another wrote, "Imagine being so pressed that your ex is happy you're still stalking her on Instagram. Embarrassing." But some fans, the diehard breezy defenders, tried to spin it in his favor. They said, "Chris is just hurt because he still loves her. That's real, not messy." But let's be real. Subliminal shade, obsessive likes, and bitter commentary don't exactly scream true love. They scream can't let go. What really poured gasoline on the fire was when Chris dropped another vague post. Some people build families on lies, but truth always wins. That one line had blogs buzzing all over again. Was he calling Karrueche fake? Was he suggesting Deion wasn't the man she thought he was? Fans debated it to death in the comments, and the drama just kept snowballing. And all the while, Karrueche stayed silent, which only made her look more powerful. No responses, no claps back, no need to even address Chris's antics. She let her actions, the ring, the rumored pregnancy, the public happiness, do the talking for her. And that silence made Chris's meltdown look even louder. The more he tried to throw shade, the more people started saying he was proving her point for her, that she made the right decision to leave him in the past. At this point, the feud wasn't just simmering, it was boiling over. Chris's subliminals were messy, fans were picking sides, and Karrueche and Deion were quietly cementing themselves as a couple who didn't need to clap back because the glow-up was speaking volumes. And the irony? Chris's obsession only made the internet talk about Karrueche and Deion even more, keeping him in the spotlight while he looked like the bitter ex who just couldn't let go. Now, to really understand why Chris Brown is spiraling the way he is, you've got to rewind and look at his history with Karrueche, because their relationship was never just a fling. It was years of toxicity, heartbreak, and chaos that Chris never truly moved past. They first linked up back in 2011 when Karrueche was still working in fashion and trying to build her modeling career. What started as a quiet romance quickly blew up in a public drama once Chris's ex, Rihanna, came back into the picture. By 2012, Chris had rekindled things with Rihanna while still being with Karrueche, creating one of the messiest love triangles in music history. Fans were constantly pitting the two women against each other, and Karrueche, who wasn't even famous at the time, got dragged by Rihanna's Navy fanbase nonstop. Chris added fuel to the fire when he dropped that infamous video where he claimed he was in love with two women at the same time. That moment told the world everything. Chris wasn't choosing, and Karrueche was stuck in the middle of chaos she didn't ask for. But even after the triangle imploded, Karrueche stayed. When Rihanna finally bowed out, Chris went running back to her, and they picked up like nothing had happened. For a while, it looked like they were solid, until the cycle repeated itself. Chris was in and out of rehab, getting into legal trouble and constantly surrounded by rumors of cheating. And the bombshell that finally shattered everything? In 2015, Karrueche discovered, just like the rest of the world, that Chris had secretly fathered a child with model Nia Guzman. The scandal hit like a freight train, and Karrueche found out online at the same time as fans. That betrayal was so deep that she tweeted, "Listen, one can only take so much. Best of luck to Chris and his family. No baby drama for me. Looks like I'm a single lady again." That was the moment she walked away, at least publicly. But walking away from Chris Brown was never that simple. Even after the baby scandal, he couldn't let her go. Chris chased, begged, threw shade, and even tried to win her back by flooding her with gifts. When she refused, things turned dark. By 2017, Karrueche went to court and secured a 5-year restraining order against him after testifying that Chris had threatened to kill her, punched her in the stomach, and even pushed her down the stairs during their relationship. Court documents revealed that he allegedly told friends, "If I can't have her, no one can." It was the kind of disturbing testimony that had fans wondering how she endured it as long as she did. Their restraining order was supposed to be the end. 5 years of distance. 5 years for Chris to finally move on. But the second it expired, he went right back to obsessing over her online. He liked her Instagram posts, left cryptic comments, and even dropped songs with lyrics that fans swore were about Karrueche. His stage performances often included a red bandana, a symbol tied to her throwing him a welcome home party after his 2014 jail stint. To outsiders, it looked like Chris was still clinging to their past, keeping her name alive in his art and refusing to release her from his narrative. And that's why this moment, Karrueche allegedly marrying Deion Sanders and starting a family, stings so much harder for Chris. Because deep down, he never accepted that she was truly gone. Every shady post, every lyric, every coincidental like on her pictures was proof he still thought he had a chance, even after everything. Now, seeing her not only move on, but build the kind of stable family he couldn't give her is the ultimate reality check. It's not just about jealousy. It's about control, about the fact that for the first time, Karrueche's happiness is completely out of his hands. And instead of letting her go gracefully, Chris is unraveling all over again, reminding fans of every toxic chapter in their past. The irony? The very behavior that pushed Karrueche away years ago is the same behavior he's repeating now, proving to everyone that while she's grown, healed, and moved forward, he's still stuck in the same cycle, unable to let go. Now here's where the story takes a turn. Because while Chris Brown is unraveling online, Karrueche Tran has been quietly building something real with Deion Sanders. And the timing couldn't be more telling, because their bond didn't come from glitz and red carpets. It grew out of something much deeper: survival, loyalty, and love in the middle of a health crisis. For those who don't know, Deion Sanders has been battling serious health issues in recent years. The Hall of Famer was diagnosed with blood clots that led to multiple surgeries, including procedures that eventually resulted in the amputation of 2 toes. It wasn't just a physical battle. It was emotional, painful, and terrifying. And through all of it, guess who was quietly by his side? Karrueche. Insiders say Karrueche was there during the darkest days, checking in at the hospital, staying close through recovery, and even helping him keep his spirits up while he faced the possibility of losing his leg. Fans who spotted her in the background of family photos during that period say it wasn't for clout, it wasn't for headlines, it was real support. She wasn't just dating a man. She was standing by a partner who was fighting for his health and his future. And that's why this relationship feels different. This isn't some whirlwind fling or casual Hollywood rebound. Karrueche invested in Deion when the cameras weren't watching. She stood firm when things got scary, when most people would have backed away. That level of loyalty doesn't just come and go, it built a foundation. And that foundation is exactly why fans are convinced the secret marriage and pregnancy rumors are legit. Because think about it. When you stand by someone through life or death health scares, a wedding vow doesn't sound like a stunt. It sounds like the natural next step. And when people noticed Karrueche glowing lately, with what looked like a baby bump peeking through her clothes, the narrative clicked into place. Not only did she stay by Deion's side through his surgeries, she may now be starting a family with him. Proof that this isn't some temporary fling, but the kind of forever love she never found with Chris. Social media has been quick to point this out. One fan tweeted, "Chris gave Karrueche a baby scandal, restraining orders, and public embarrassment. Deion gave her stability and a family. That's what you call an upgrade." Another wrote, "Standing by someone through a cancer battle? That's not clout, that's love." And the comments on blogs echo the same sentiment. Karrueche finally looks like she's found the peace and security she always deserved. What makes it sting even more for Chris is that this isn't just any man. It's Deion Sanders, a legend, a leader, and someone whose public image is built on discipline and faith. That's the polar opposite of the chaos Chris brought into her life. So when fans look at Karrueche and Deion, they don't see another toxic Hollywood couple waiting to implode. They see a grown woman choosing a grown man, building a future based on trust, resilience, and real partnership. And that's exactly why this alleged marriage and pregnancy bombshell feels believable. It fits the story that's been playing out quietly behind the scenes. Karrueche has evolved, she's healed, and now she's investing in someone who matches that energy. And for fans who have been rooting for her to finally find happiness after all the drama, this feels like the fairy tale ending she was denied for so long. But before we crown this as the perfect love story, we've got to keep it real. Because Deion Sanders has a complicated past of his own, and not all fans are convinced this relationship is as flawless as it looks. See, Deion may be a football legend and now a beloved coach, but when it comes to his personal life, his track record is messy. His first marriage to Carolyn Chambers ended in divorce back in the early 90s, and his second marriage to Pilar Sanders turned into a full-on public circus. That split dragged out for years, complete with ugly court battles, accusations of abuse, custody wars over their kids, and both sides airing out dirty laundry in the press. It was so chaotic that blogs at the time called it one of the nastiest celebrity divorces of the decade. And if that wasn't enough, Deion has also been tied to other high-profile romances that ended just as messily. From flings with reality TV stars to relationships with women who accused him of infidelity, his dating history is far from squeaky clean. Fans haven't forgotten those chapters, and some are quick to remind Karrueche that while Deion might look like the stable choice compared to Chris, his past suggests he's not exactly a saint either. On Twitter, one fan wrote, "Deion Sanders has been divorced twice and dragged his last wife through hell. Karrueche better be careful." Another chimed in, "Everybody's saying Chris is bitter, but y'all forgetting Deion ain't exactly Mr. Perfect." I hope she knows what she's getting into. And the comments under blog posts echo that same skepticism. People want to believe in the fairy tale, but they're not blind to the red flags. Still, the contrast between Deion and Chris couldn't be more striking. Deion, even with his messy past, is at least moving forward, building a new relationship, healing from his health battles, and allegedly starting fresh with Karrueche. Meanwhile, Chris is stuck in the rearview mirror, bitter, petty, and obsessing over a woman who's clearly outgrown him. Fans have pointed this out too, saying things like, even if Deion messes up, at least Karrueche won't be dragged back into Chris's toxicity. She already lived through that nightmare. And that's the heart of the debate right now. Yes, Deion's past is messy. Yes, there's a risk that history could repeat itself. But compared to Chris, who's proving in real time that he still hasn't changed, Deion looks like the better bet. Karrueche might be stepping into another complicated love story, or she might be writing her happiest chapter yet. Either way, the internet is keeping score, and the drama between her past with Chris and her future with Deion is fueling one of the biggest celebrity conversations online right now. Just when people thought Chris Brown might calm down and let the news settle, he proved everybody wrong, because this latest meltdown might be his most desperate yet. First came the subliminal posts, the kind that screamed jealousy without saying her name. Chris posted a black screen with the caption, "Some people only look happy 'cause they faking it." Truth always comes out. Hours later, he uploaded a clip of himself in the studio, mumbling over an unreleased track where the lyrics sounded a little too pointed. "She left the king for a coach." That's comedy. Fans instantly pieced it together and dragged him in the comments. "Chris, please, you're too old for this," one person wrote. Another clapped back, "Imagine still crying over your ex a decade later." But it didn't stop there. Chris has been clocked lurking on multiple Karrueche fan pages, liking and unliking old posts of her, almost as if he's trying to rewrite the narrative in real time. Screenshots even show him late at night, replying to random comments about their past relationship, defending himself like he's still fighting for her approval. It's the kind of obsessive energy that makes fans uncomfortable, like he's spiraling in public while she's moving forward in private. And then came the wildest rumor of them all. Multiple gossip blogs claimed Chris told mutual friends that if Karrueche really is pregnant with twins, he'd be willing to step up and raise them as his own. Let that sink in. Fans were floored. On one hand, some thought it sounded like Chris being emotional and wanting a second chance at family with her. On the other hand, most people saw it for what it was, pure desperation. Because the reality is, Karrueche has already chosen her partner, and Chris inserting himself into her new family narrative just proves he hasn't moved on. One viral tweet put it bluntly. Chris offering to raise another man's kids? That's not love, that's obsession. Another fan wrote, this man had years to step up and treat her right. Now he want to play stepdad? Please. TikTok's mocking the rumor went viral too, with creators joking that Chris was about to show up at the baby shower uninvited, mic in hand, ready to perform back to sleep. And that's the chilling part of this whole meltdown. It feels less like heartbreak and more like a refusal to let go. Every post, every lyric, every rumor adds to the tension, making fans wonder, what's next? Is Chris just going to keep spiraling online? Or is he gearing up to do something bigger, something even messier? Because history has shown that when it comes to Chris Brown and Karrueche Tran, the line between heartbreak and obsession has always been razor thin. Right now, all eyes are on him, not out of sympathy, but out of curiosity, because the internet can't shake the feeling that this meltdown is just the beginning. And if this is how hard he's unraveling at the news of a secret marriage and pregnancy, fans are bracing themselves for what happens when those rumors become undeniable reality. When you step back from all the mess, the subliminals, the rumors, the obsessive behavior, what becomes clear is the bigger picture. And honestly, it's not a flattering one for Chris Brown, because at this point, it's impossible not to notice the pattern. Both Rihanna and Karrueche, the two women who defined his most public relationships, have moved on to men who actually seem to value them, while Chris is still stuck in the past. Think about it. Rihanna built her empire, became a billionaire, and now she's a mother of two with A$AP Rocky, a man who, despite his own controversies, shows up for her publicly with pride and consistency. Their relationship may not be perfect, but Rihanna is thriving, glowing, and clearly in a chapter of her life where love is nourishing her instead of draining her. And now Karrueche, the woman Chris once called his ride or die, has allegedly found the same kind of stability with Deion Sanders, standing by him during his health battles, allegedly marrying him in secret, and now possibly expecting twins. This isn't the messy on-again, off-again saga she endured with Chris. It looks like a grown woman finally building a grown future. And here's the irony. Chris lost them both for the same reasons. The cheating, the scandals, the inability to take accountability. He mistreated them, he underestimated them, and when they finally walked away, he never truly recovered. It's like watching the same story play out twice. Two women who gave him their youth, their loyalty, their patience, only to realize they deserved better. And when they finally found better, Chris couldn't handle it. That's what makes this moment sting harder than ever. It's not just about Karrueche moving on. It's about the reality that Chris is now the one left behind, watching as the women he once controlled step into new lives without him. The world is watching, too, pointing out the bitter truth he refuses to face. He's not the prize anymore. One fan summed it up perfectly in a viral tweet. Rihanna got Rocky, Karrueche got Deion. Chris got Instagram stories and hurt feelings. Another wrote, he had two of the baddest women in the game and lost them both the same way. That's not bad luck, that's a pattern. And so we're left with the central question. Will Chris finally accept that it's over, that the door to his past loves is permanently closed? Or will he keep spiraling, letting bitterness and obsession drag him deeper into drama he can't win? Because if history is any indication, Chris doesn't know how to let go gracefully. And the longer he fights the reality, the more he risks turning this into a feud that's bigger than just an ex. A feud with his own legacy. And here's the wild part. As explosive as things already are, this doesn't feel like the end. In fact, it feels like we're just getting started. Because if Chris Brown keeps unraveling the way he has been, this drama could get even uglier than anyone imagined. We're talking late-night rants, more subliminals, maybe even full-on diss tracks. And if those rumors about him inserting himself into Karrueche's new family are even halfway true, the next move could be the most chaotic one yet. The energy online right now is pure anticipation. Everyone's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Some fans are bracing themselves, saying, Chris is too unpredictable. He's not done. Others think Karrueche's silence is her power play, that no matter what Chris throws out there, she's shutting the door on him permanently. And then you've got the messy crowd, the ones who low-key want this to spiral just to see the drama explode. But here's the real cliffhanger. What happens if Chris doesn't accept the reality? If he keeps poking at a woman who's clearly moved on, married, and possibly pregnant with twins, does this turn into a one-sided war that makes him look even worse? Or does he finally realize that the chapter is closed, once and for all? Either way, the tension is at a boiling point, and the internet can't stop watching. The story isn't finished. It's dangling on the edge, ready for the next twist that no one's prepared for. So tell me, do you think Karrueche's shutting the door on Chris for good? Or is this feud just heating up? Drop your thoughts, because something tells me the next headline in this saga is coming sooner than we think.